Okay, what's up? Welcome back. To today's lesson, we are going to focus on something that people have an issue with. They have trouble trying to figure out, what do I post on my social media? Are you an entertainer? Are you a business? Are you just an individual that just likes to be on there? Once you understand what you want to be, how do you take your story and get people to connect to it? So, today, we're going to focus on social media and the rule of three, and ultimately how and what and why to post things. As always, I'm Thomas J. Beleza. Please like, comment, and share this video along with subscribing for future content for those interested in learning how to succeed in their career, specifically entertainment. All right, so let's get started. Social media, the rule of three. Okay, there's 4 points that we're going to bring up, and then I'm going to explain a little bit about each of them, and then I'm going to go over examples on how they may look for you, or a way we can really go from there. The first rule of three, okay. The first rule is promote your career. So your career could also be your business, right? So promote your career slash business, okay? What you do and how you do it, okay? Your career is all about what you do, but more importantly, how you do it. The reason we are talking about these particular things is because you're trying to show your proof of concept, that you are an expert in that field, that you know what it is you are doing and why you do it and how to do it. So by promoting your career, it's actually showing people the ins and outs of how you do things, and your brain, how it looks at stuff and how you find solutions, things like that. And of course, we will go over an example for that. The second rule of three, okay, is ideas and those who fit your brand, okay? Basically, it's sharing quotes, it's sharing other people in your field of interest, but most importantly, they have to do what? Things that represent your mission, morals, and ideologies. So if you're going to share somebody's comment, a quote, an idea, if somebody's doing something within your field of interest and you have nothing to do with it, and you share that, as long as it fits within your missions, morals, and ideologies, you will ultimately be fulfilling the second thing. And again, we will go over an example shortly. The third rule of the rule of three is your personal story or adventure. This is something I very much promote. I believe in this. This helps build organic emotional connections with your audience, okay? There are basically anything that is your personal story or adventure. These are your process and trials and tribulations you overcame. So whenever something comes up, or how you have to do the thing you do, what is the process that gets you there? What is the process of your adventure? What are your trials and tribulations? How, and how did you overcome those trials and tribulations? All right. So real quick overview. You want to promote your career or business. You want to promote others and their ideas and things they are doing in their industry that helps represent your brand's missions, morals, and ideologies. And of course, your personal story showing your process, how you work through things. There is a difference between the process of how you do things versus showing your expertise. Okay. And we'll obviously go over that. The fourth rule, which is not of the rule of three, but this is why do this at all. It's very important to understand that these are not just posts. You're not just saying, well, here's what I do. I'm an actor, or I'm a musician, or I'm a writer, or I own a donut shop. You're not saying, hey, this musician has some good things to say. I will share that because it's going to get me likes, right? You're not trying to get likes. You're not trying to get comments, and you're not trying to get follows just to have them. You're trying to get people to connect to you and be interested in what it is you have to offer, because no one's going to spend money and time into a brand they don't connect with. They may connect with something you share, like, oh, this person shared a thing about anxiety, or this person shared a thing about they believe, or the Rock. The Rock said something. The Rock says, keep going, keep making things happen, right? And that's it. That's all they post. It's like, or they'll post generic quotes and sayings as if it's their own. And people will be like, I believe in that statement and quotes. So now you're getting likes, follows, and shares. But then what happens is, if it's just to post, people will see it, then they'll go to your page and realize consistently This is not what you're about. But what's more important is if you only focus on the content of what you share and not necessarily the story or mission or the brand of what you share, people will notice either A, it's only quotes and there's nothing about you that they are learning about, or what you are trying to represent is not clear in general. So these ideas, your personal venture, everything you post is not just a post. It has to have a purpose. And the purpose for this is you are trying to promote your career. All right. Basically, you're talking about what you do and how you do it. The ideas of those and other people is how do you connect to that quote or that accomplishment or their mission or something they are doing. If you share the rock, how do you connect to the rock in this situation? If you're just going to share a generic quote that's on the internet, like nothing is ever easy, just keep trying, you can do it, right? It's generic. It's not really brand, right? It's just here's a quote, but you have to add some extra value to that, and we'll go over that in a second. And then additionally, your story and your venture isn't just like, hey, I'm in another movie, or, I worked with this person before, or look at me, I play guitar, or look at me, I tell jokes. Like, that's not your personal story adventure. But we will go over what your personal journey is in your adventure. So this is why we do this. We need proof of concept. You're showing your knowledge and expertise with these 3 examples. All right? Because okay, so this first part, promote your career, is ultimately showing that you know your industry. You're showing how your industry works. You're showing what knowledge you have pertaining to that industry, and so much what your career and why you have a career and or a business. The second thing, these ideas, you work and collaborate with others. By showing and sharing other people's successes and journeys, as long as it fits your brand's missions, morals, and ideologies, you are showing a side of you. You are literally branding yourself as somebody that believes in others, somebody that cares about others, somebody that likes to collaborate, somebody that likes to work with others, especially if you work with them. However, sharing something that you are involved in is not sharing somebody else's stuff. That's still sharing your stuff. So keep that in mind. There is a difference between sharing other people's stuff that you have no involvement in, other than you believe and understand their brand or can relate to them, versus you just sharing something because I worked on this project with Jimmy John June Jim Bum, and that's why I'm sharing this. Okay, and then where you are in your career. Okay, so it's important that when you share your adventure, it's actually representing where you are in your career, what level, what you're taking, what precautions, what actions you're taking to ensure that you have a powerful career ahead of you, or you are in that powerful career. This is the important part to understand. It doesn't matter where you are in your career. It matters that you're showing that you are growing in your career. If you don't talk about what it takes to get to where you are, and then out of nowhere you're like, I'm an extra in a movie, or I got one line in a commercial, we can't root for you. We may be able to like that comment, or that post, or that news, but they're not going to be able to relate in a way that they connect with you. And then they're like, I'm going to continue following this person, because there's nothing to follow. They weren't able to connect to how you got there. I'm not saying not to post that you got a role, a one line in a commercial or a show. I'm not saying don't post that you're not on a tour. I'm not saying that. But what is important is representing the adventure getting there, representing the trials and tribulations that earns you the right to be in that position. Okay. I'm going to take some water before we keep going, because, get some parchment mouth. Mm-hmm. All right, I know I talk fast, but the lucky part for you is you can rewind this video, or you could ask questions in the comments below, which brings me back to, if you're just jumping on now and someone's watching, I am Thomas J. Beleza. This is the BBR Productions channel. We do lessons live, and we also talk about basically how to be successful in your career, focusing specifically on the entertainment industry. However, people in all industries can utilize these techniques. We talk about networking, marketing, and practicing, not just how to practice a craft, but additionally, we talk about how to learn to evolve your strengths and weaknesses to be useful. We also teach time management, money management, people management, things that you need to organize your business. We teach you how to think outside the box, and ultimately, what do you bring to the table? So those are the things we really talk about on this channel. So please subscribe if you want to learn more about those things. And of course, remember to like this video, comment with questions. All right, moving on to the examples. So now that we know that we have to promote our career, we have to promote ideas and those who fit in our brand, and we have to represent our personal story. So let's start with promoting your career. Okay, let's say you're a writer or an author. You might write, editing is a part of the process. Get fresh eyes to see beyond your involvement. Now, this particular post, let's just say that is the post. Editing is a part of the process. Get fresh eyes to see beyond your involvement. Okay? The reason this is there is because you're showing your expertise, right? What is your career? You're a writer, author, but you might also be somebody that edits. You might be somebody that's willing to look at other people's work. And not only are you expressing the value of having someone else look at it, you're also not just saying, hey, I edit, hire me to edit, I will edit your stuff. You're showing proof and a proof of concept and your expertise and why somebody should have an editor. And then someone might say, especially if you start building a brand and emotional connection, they might respond to that as in like, oh yeah, I've been trying to get my book edited for like 3 months, but I can't find a good editor. And then that's your opportunity to say, oh, well, why don't we talk about it? Maybe I'll edit it. Let's see what we could do. But this particular post for your career can be split into multiple forums. Okay, expand or establish in each platform. So you can make it a post. You can do a TikTok, a YouTube, a blog, a story, a fleet, whatever you want. You could turn this into a 5-second thing. Just literally be like, editing is a part of the process. Get fresh eyes to see what beyond what you are, beyond your involvement, right? And boom, 5 seconds, done. There's your TikTok. There's your fleet. There's your story. Okay. Plus, they get to see your personality, right? You could even, you could just be you. It's like editing is editing is always going to be a part of the process. You should always have somebody else's eyes look to it beyond where you're a part. Whatever. And now your personality. The blog is you could expand on this now. You could ultimately teach a lesson on it, even if it's 300 words, right? 300 words is not a lot of words. But by having a blog or a YouTube expanding on this process, you are showing your expertise. Okay, so you could literally take, this is 2 sentences, and you could take that and you could end up putting it on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 platforms in different variations. One being as simple as these 2 sentences and reciting the 2 sentences. The other being, let's expand on it a little bit. Let's make a TikTok. Let's make a YouTube video, right? The YouTube video explains it a little bit more, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I recommend a 10-minute video. And from there, you could take that video and you could put it on a blog. You could also take that video and transcribe it, or transpose it, transcribe, and then place it into the blog written-wise. So now you're getting more out of it, okay? So that's an example of what it would look like to promote your company or your career. You do not say, hey, we are a marketing company, but you talk about marketing. Just like I'm doing right now, right? BBR Productions is a consulting, marketing, and development company. But if I just say, hey, we consult, you should hire us, we'll teach you how to do it. No. But if I say we market, that's bad marketing, because that's not how you market. You don't market, go, hey, we market. That's advertisement, by the way. Marketing is representing your brand. Advertisement is paying for exposure, okay? And then the development is like, what does that even mean? But by doing videos like such, I'm doing a lesson. I'm talking about, this is, by the way, marketing. This is how do we represent our brand on the social media. I'm showing my expertise. I'm talking about my expertise. And that's the value of representing your brand in the voice of your company and your career, and basically how you do it. I'm not saying I can edit your stuff. I'm saying editing is a part of the process. I'm creating an idea, and then I'm exploring it. Get fresh eyes to see beyond your involvement. So that exploration is ultimately saying the reason. Wait, how do you accomplish editing? Use somebody else's eyes. Okay, that's basically what it is. All right. The second one is ideas and others who fit your brand's missions, morals, and ideologies. So let's say you're a musician. Okay, you might post a quote, and please, if you post a quote, credit where the quote comes from. Don't just be somebody that posts a quote as if you came up with that. Just saying. All right. Some people feel the rain. Some people feel the rain. Others just get wet. Bob Dylan. Now, the second part I'll read in a second. This first part is what I was talking about earlier. You could just post the quote, but you're not necessarily representing this thing anymore. Now you're just posting a quote. And this by itself, some people feel the rain, others just get wet, is a really good quote by Bob Dylan. But how does it relate to you? So I added this little extra, okay? So this is adding you, okay? So you would read, some people feel the rain, others just get wet, Bob Dylan. Then we put a space, and then we write us. I've always felt on the outside until I realized not every soul feels what I feel. So there's a couple things going on there, right? I could be representing depression, right? And that might be a part of my brand and message. I may be somebody that likes to openly talk about depression, how it doesn't really define you, right? Because I live with chronic depression, persistent depression, right? So I love to talk about depression in general and really uplift that community and say, hey, look, you're not alone, right? But the other thing is, this is also about being isolated, that feeling of isolation that a lot of artists may or may not feel. I know I have felt it. And since I have felt it, I relate with that idea that what Bob Dylan is saying. But more importantly, what else am I saying? I am representing what this means or makes me feel. And therefore, people can relate not only to what Bob Dylan is, they'll read that and they'll go, this is what it means to me as a person reading Bob Dylan's words. But then they'll read my words that I put, and then they'll say, oh, I can relate with that, right? And this adds a value and context to the quote. You're basically qualifying it. And whenever you share somebody else's stuff, or you share somebody else's quote, or you represent something else, you should also add your own value to it. Okay. All right. And the third is your personal adventure, right? Your journey, your trials and tribulations. So let's say you're an actor or a performer in general. Two households, both alike in dignity. In fair Verona, where we lay our scene. All right. Shakespeare. Okay. I got a quote. I got to say the quote, right? I quoted Shakespeare. Well, technically, it's the prince, or the narrator. The narrator says that in the beginning. Anyway, actor, performer. This is what it would look like for your trials and tribulations, your adventure. Okay. Finding this character led me to discover something within myself. Thank you. Add acting teacher's name here. Let's say Thomas J. Belizza. I'm not an acting teacher. I'm just. So let's say finding this character led me to discover something within myself. Thank you, Thomas J. Belizza, for the tools to break this script down. Now, what is the value of this post? Well, remember, it's your trials and tribulations. We want to see your process. So first off, we know that this actor has gotten a script for a potential role without saying, I just got cast in a thing. I have to break down this thing, right? No, it's saying I am working on a script, but it's not saying I am working on a script, but it's also saying I got cast. So I got cast. My expertise, my process so far is that I am a working actor. I may or may not be getting paid, but that's neither here nor there because that doesn't matter, right? It matters what are you representing this is me acting, right? I'm showing my expertise. The other thing is I take pride in developing my skills, that I am not filled with a sense of entitlement or that idea like I do not need to learn anything else, right? Because discovered something with the acting teacher, which is saying that you have the tools to break down the script. But while breaking down the script, you discovered something about yourself, so you're able to reflect in, and that's a skill set. So you're not saying, this post is not saying verbatim, you're not going, hey, I am an actor. I know how to break down the script. I know how to find myself within that script to really bring the character to life. I'm definitely a valuable actor. You should hire me, cast me. It's literally saying that, but in the process and the trials and tribulations of who you are and what you're doing as an actor. And that's why this kind of posting is adventure, because the adventure is finding this character led me to discover something within myself. We know that you had been working on breaking down a script, right? And you are doing it in a way that was taught to you. Thank you, Thomas J. Beleza, for the tools to break this script down. So you're showing your expertise. It's a process. You're also showing inclusion, because you're saying, hey, if I work with you, I'm going to represent you. I'm going to promote you. I'm going to talk about you, right? So people like that kind of idea, right? And then your skill level. It's showing where you are and what you're capable of. There you go. So the rule of 3 is promote your career, promote ideas and others who fit your brand's missions, morals, and ideologies, and your personal story, basically your adventures, your trials and tribulations, and the process in which you got there. Again, you're not saying literally what it is. You're just talking about that experience in general. All right. So I think I might do another one where I kind of go over adventure posts and stuff like that, and I give a lot of examples. But anyway, again, I'm Thomas J. Beleza. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and share this video to spread the knowledge. We can only grow if we work, grow, and rise together. So elevate others by sharing knowledge, especially when it's free and capable for everybody to have. Subscribe if you want to learn more about being successful in your career, specifically entertainment. All right, thank you. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.